Today I'm going to teach you how to create your campaigns on Facebook to test your products. As you can see on this campaign, I've spent over $175,000 for the past 1.5 years. So I know what I'm talking about. I do qualify to teach you how to test on Facebook. And as you can see, based on some of the results I have had, this campaign specifically has spent $51,000 with 2,217 purchases. This is not exactly accurate on Facebook, but it's kind of estimated. I am sure I've had a lot more orders than that, and plus average order values. As you can see, this one I spent $23,000 alone in this campaign, that one 17,000, and it goes down, so on. And I have tested multiple products. It doesn't mean every time I test product that is going to be a winner. I'm the same as everyone else. Every time I test products, it's not a winner, and it's normal. Out of 10 products you test, it's probably 1 or 2 it's going to be a winner, sometimes none. So you have to continuously test and test, although you do burn money, but you have no choice. This is the game, and this is how dropshipping works. So based on my campaigns and the structure I have been using for the past 2 years, the method I use, it does work, and it's proven to work. So I'm going to show you the easiest way to create Facebook ad for your products to test. So let's start creating campaign. So when you create your campaign, these are all the options you get. What you need to choose is sales, because this is the one that you need, and you're going to get your traffic for sale. You don't need app promotion, leads, no engagement, and traffic and awareness. So you click on sale, continue. So you get 3 sections here. This is your campaign level, ad set level, and this is your ad level. We will go through them together so you have a pretty good understanding how these campaigns work. So here it's pretty simple. Campaign name, you're going to name your campaign whatever it's going to be. So in our case, or in your case, usually you type in the product name, whatever the product is. So let's say it's a mini dress. That's just as an example. You type in mini dress, and then next you type in / where you're going to be advertising. So usually wherever I'm going to be advertising, and I will just name the countries that I'm going to be advertising. So let's say US / UK and Australia. So US, UK, AU. So when I look back at the campaign, I know what this campaign is for, because at some point you're going to be having so many campaigns when you're trying to scale, or at least you know your campaign, what the campaign is. So mini dress reminds you this is for mini dress, and you're testing in these 3 countries. Here you will see buying type. Buying type is always going to be auction. When you select on sale in the beginning, it will automatically save auction for you, and the campaign objective, which we will chose earlier, is going to be sales. Here it will usually automatically toggle this on for you, but you can leave it toggled on, or you can toggle it off. So I usually prefer to toggle it off. It really depends, because here we're not doing Advantage Plus catalogs. So we go down here. This is the budget. So before, there used to be ABO and CBO, and the way you used to choose ABO and CBO was completely different. But now it tells you and asks you if you want to set up ABO or CBO in the campaign structure. So what ABO is? ABO basically is where you allocate your budget towards your ad sets. But CBO is basically where you tell Facebook, I'm giving you X amount of money, and put it towards whichever ad is going to do the best. So usually ABO used to work the best, but at the moment now, I think with AI and everything else and algorithm, CBO works a lot better, because you're telling Facebook, here is my money, spend it towards whichever ad does better. And now Facebook is very smart, literally chooses the campaign, the ads that do really well. So it will spend majority of the money towards this ad. In my case, I usually go for CBO, and I will recommend you to test CBO as well, which is campaign budget. So this is where a lot of people test it out differently. I usually start with $35 no matter what. So when you on default it's basically $25, but I usually put 35 because it's a lot easier, and every time I've tested it with a bigger budget, I don't know why, but it seems to not do well. So for me personally, for the past 3 years, based on my experience, the lower budget you start with, the better it does, the better optimizes within 3 days, around 72 hours. So I would recommend you to start with $35 per campaign every time you test products. So you type in $35, you go down, you don't touch none of that. ABO is going to be off, and this is all going to be off. You click on next. When you click on next, this is going to be your ad set level, where you structure your campaign, where you're going to advertise your campaign, the countries and the time, and also you're going to be selecting your pixel. So here we're going to name the ad set broad, because we're going to advertise to a broad audience. Nowadays, interest doesn't work as much as it used to be, so we're going to go for broad, because Facebook will know what type of people are going to be interested in your product and what kind of niche you're in. So AI will basically do all the work for you nowadays. So we'll type in broad, and here this is your conversion rate and conversion location. What you have to do is you have to click on single website, because you're directing traffic to your website, and here your performance goal is always going to be maximize number of conversion. That's what you always want. None of that will work. Sometimes maximize value of conversion does work, but for me and for everyone else, maximize number of conversion works the best, at least for dropshipping. Then next you will have your data, which is going to be your pixel. You're going to be connecting your pixel to Shopify, or you might already have connected it. So if you've connected it to Shopify and connected it to Facebook, this is your pixel. You're going to select your pixel. Your conversion event is always going to be purchase, nothing else. You do not want to choose anything else. It's always going to be purchase. So click on purchase. Then we go down, cost per go, select none. Value rules, always no. It will always be like that on default. Sometimes it's not, but always change it to none and also no. So attribution model is going to be standard. Usually it's going to be standard because you don't want anything else apart from standard. Incremental sometimes does work, but standard performs a lot better. So we're going to click on standard, and this is where you're going to schedule your budget. Always remember, you're going to be scheduling your budget to the next day. So let's say today's 1st of March, we're going to be scheduling it for the next day on 12 a.m. So 0, it's going to be the next day 12 a.m. because Facebook runs from 12 a.m. to 12 a.m. from midnight to midnight. This is where it's going to spend majority of the budget between these times. Do not set it up for any other time, nothing else apart from 12 a.m. because that's when it will spend majority of the budget, from 12 a.m. to 12 a.m. Next, then we'll go down to your location. So here we chose US, UK, Australia. So wherever country you are, this is going to be your default. In my case, it's United Kingdom. We're going to click on type in United States, because we're going to be obviously advertising in United States, and then we're going to be typing Australia. These are the 3 countries we're going to be doing it, as we did write it down on the campaign name. Then you come down, you don't need to touch anything else, leave everything else the same, click on next. This is where it's very important, majority of your ads is going to be, this is the important part. So usually I leave this blank, but some people write down the names of the creatives. So because this is where you're going to put your creatives in, this is the section. So I usually leave it blank personally, but you can also name it whichever you want depending on your creative name. So I leave it blank personally, or just leave it as it is. Then identity, this is your Facebook and Instagram. I've usually connect mine all the time, is connected. So you click on the account that is connected to your Facebook and the Instagram account. Also, don't worry about Threads profile. You come down, always make sure you select on manual, because we're doing it manually. Never click on Advantage Plus catalogs. Format section, in our case, it's going to be single image or video, but sometimes I also do carousels depending on how many creatives I have and what kind of creatives I have. Carousel does work pretty well depending on how many creatives you have, but usually I just select on single image or video. Then multiple advertisers ads. Sometimes I do turn it on, sometimes I don't, depending on how many creatives I have again, but usually it's always on for me. It doesn't make a big difference. Next, you come down to this section where it says main destination. This is going to be where you're going to be sending your traffic to. So let's say you're selling a mini dress. You're going to click on your mini dress on your Shopify and bring the URL and paste it on this section. After that, you also want to use a display link. You're going to copy it here as well. So after pasting your URL in those two sections, in the website URL as well as display link, you're going to add your URL parameter. It's very important you're going to add this URL parameter, because nowadays after the iOS 14, Facebook don't track every conversions, so you need to add URL parameter, so it will basically going to track every conversions that comes from any iOS, from any other phones. So you click on go to tracking. It will basically bring you down to this section, build your URL parameter. In the first campaign source, we're going to type in Facebook, and on the next one, we're going to be clicking on campaign name. Then the second one, we're going to click on add set name. Third one and last, add name. This is how you exactly want to do it, exactly like mine. So this is just to track every conversions that comes from any phones or any iOS. Click on apply. Once you have done that, the last thing is left to do is to find the creatives that you have for your product. You're going to be clicking on setup creative, depending on either video or image you have. So let's say we're going to start with image first. Click on image. These are sometimes on those sections, sometimes they're on, sometimes they're not, but don't worry about any of those sections. Just click on the next. Once you click on next, you need to upload your creatives depending on what creatives you have for your product. So in that case, as an example, I have this creative. Let's say I'm going to click open, and now it's going to upload the creative for us. Now it's uploaded. You click on next. You have to be original. Sometimes automatically selects on 9:16, but you need to always change it back to original, because sometimes you see it that way, but you need to remember, always check it properly. It has to be original. Then once you do that, you click on next. This is where you're going to take a little extra time to write down your primary text as well as your headline, because that's what it's often going to catch people's attention to buy your product, and this is what is going to be above your ads when you advertise. So your primary text is going to be about your product. It's not very important, but it's important to have a text that is clean and aligns with your product depending on whatever you're selling. So we're selling mini dress, let's say, and what you usually have to do, go on ChatGPT, type in I'm selling a mini dress, I need you to give me an ad copy for Facebook. We usually say FB, and also headline. So this is going to give you a primary text for your Facebook as well as the headline. As you can see, you're going to read it, turn heads the moment you walk in. So this is all good. You have to read it, and once you read it and you're happy with, you're going to copy it. And once you copy it, you type in or paste it on your primary text. Then you go back to ChatGPT, pick one of these headlines that you think is going to do the best. So in that case, we'll choose that one. We'll copy it, go back to the section, paste it on headline. Also, AI Advantage Plus will choose some other ones for you in case this one doesn't work. It will basically rotate it. I always recommend clicking on all apply, because we also had it for that one. So once you paste in any primary text, Facebook AI will give you some other ones that are similar to the ones you've pasted. So these are the ones that gave us, and always make sure you click on apply, because Facebook is going to rotate those ones as well as the ones you have. And next, we're going to click on call to action. Your call to action always must be shop now, because that's what people are going to be triggering, and that's what people usually be clicking on. Because sometimes when you put learn more, or when you put anything else, customers don't know how to buy. But once you have shop now, customers will click on a shop now button to go directly to your website. So we chose shop now, click on next. Then usually here AI will generate you some other similar images based on the ones based on the one you have uploaded. But in our case, because the image we've uploaded is nothing that has a variant, it can't really have many variants, so it's not giving it to us. But sometimes it gives it to you, sometimes it gives you more AI generated image based on the ones you've created, based on the one you've uploaded. So make sure, have a look around on the images AI it's giving you. Select the ones that you like, select the ones that you think, oh yeah, those images are good as well, because sometimes the images Facebook AI gives you are pretty good. So once you've done that, you click on next. Then usually don't worry about the last section where it says enhancement, you click on done. So once you click on done, this is all perfectly done, and this is what your ad's going to be looking like. Obviously this is not the product I'm selling, but this was just as an example. And as you can see also here, this is the primary text where we put on, for those who you don't know where the primary text appears, this is where the primary text is going to be appearing, and this is going to be your headline. You do not need to touch the description where here it says description. You can also say free shipping, but I usually put nothing on the description, but this is entirely up to you. Some people put some other things, some people don't. It will appear here on the description we put on, so it will appear here, say free shipping. Now once you're done, if you only have one creative, you click on publish and it will publish for the next day on 12 a.m. But if you have more, you're going to click on duplicate depending on how many ads you have for your product. So let's say you have 4 ads on your products, you're going to multiply by 3 times as we already have one. So click on duplicate. In total we're going to have around 4 ads. As you can see here, we already did one and we've multiplied it by 3 times. Once you remove the media, you're going to be adding your next creative depending on whichever you have. Let's say you have a video, you click on next. Once you click on next, you're going to upload your video, and once your video is uploaded, simply you're going to click on the video, click on next, then you click on next. Make sure those are all going to say original. Once you select original, you click on next, done. So this is our next creative we've uploaded. You do the same thing for those 2, depending how many creatives you have. I would recommend anything around 3 to 6 creative per campaign. So whatever product you're going to be testing, you need to make sure you have at least minimum 3 creative to 6 creative. So if you have 6 creative, you're going to duplicate this 2 more times, or in total you're going to have 6 creatives. So we just duplicated it 3 times and in total we have 4. But let's say you have 6, you just duplicated it 5 times and you already had one, it's going to be 6 in total. Once you're done with uploading your creatives, you go back to the campaign level and you click on publish. Once you publish here, your campaign is going to be scheduled for the next day and it will start spending. Alright guys, I do appreciate you watching. If you have any questions, make sure drop it down in the comment below, or you can reach out to me on Instagram and I will try to reply you there as well.